Well, hello and thanks for stopping by. It's time for another video with some critters and a robot yammering on about word origins. Today we've got yellow, mustard and jaundice. Let's start with yellow. Our word yellow developed from Old English giolu or giolwe. I have absolutely no idea if I pronounce those right. It's fascinating how language evolves, isn't it? Our word yellow has relatives in other ancient tongues as well. The Old High German gelb carries a similar meaning, signifying something bright. Even further back, we find the Sanskrit harita, which intriguingly means greenish-yellow. Yellow, as the name of the colour in English, is attested to around the 9th century. But you might ask, hey now, what about yellow meaning cowardly? When did that happen? Well, yellow was first used to signify cowardly by 1856 apparently, but it's anyone's guess as to how that came about. Sounds like a great MA thesis topic though. Here's fun fact about yellow. As it happens, there used to be quite more of a range of colours that the word applied to, such as greenish-grey, so there you go. We get yellow from Old English, but even before that, the word has relatives tracing back to Old High German and Sanskrit. So how about mustard? This tangy term finds its roots in the Latin mustum ardens, which translates to burning must. Mustum, a term for new wine or unfermented grape juice, and ardens, meaning burning, together describe the zesty heat of crushed mustard seeds and the fiery pungency of the condiment itself. What the early Romans would do is grind up mustard seeds into a paste, add some unfermented grape juice, known as must, then put that shit on the closest thing to a hot dog they could find. This ancient combination was so distinctive, it carved its own place in the Latin language, and from there into all the languages that grew out of Latin. Our word mustard turns up in English in the 13th century, probably via the old French word mostard, meaning the plant or seed itself. Well, that's something to put on your wiener. Moving on then. It's probably best not to eat too many wieners though, as all those nitrates might mess about with your liver, which brings us to jaundice. Aside from liver failure, we get jaundice from Middle English jaundice, which in turn came from the French word jaunisse, which translates to yellowness. The French in turn derived jaunisse from jaune, their term for yellow. The first time jaundice graced the English language was in the 14th century, a time when English was undergoing significant changes and absorbing influences from Latin, French and other languages. This term, jaundice, was used to describe a medical condition characterized by a yellowish hue to the skin. This happens when high levels of bilirubin, a yellow pigment produced by the liver, circulates in the bloodstream. It might seem rather peculiar that such a word, with its medical implications, would have its roots in a simple colour. Of course, back then as now, fancier words were needed for fancy applications, and fancy meant foreign. And so doctors' need for a medical word got them sourcing words from French. Not that this would have helped them fix the jaundice, mind you, but I bet they sounded very authoritative when diagnosing it. Good for them. Well, there you have it. Yellow comes from Old English, mustard from Latin, and jaundice from French and liver failure. Until next time, have a pleasant rest of your week and try not to get jaundice.